Following the resignation of Gladys Berejiklian, New South Wales has a new Premier. He goes by the name of Dominic Perrottet, a 39-year-old devout Catholic who is currently a father of 6 with a 7th on the way. But what exactly does he stand for, and what is his record on certain issues? In this video, I'll let you know exactly who Dominic Perrottet is. But first, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to stay across the latest videos from Kalkine. Let's start with his take on some of the big issues, beginning with abortion. Obviously, abortion is an incredibly loaded issue, and opponents of Perrottet have been quick to point out his opposition to a 2019 bill that sought to decriminalise abortion. Now, whilst he did vote against the bill, his opposition in this instance wasn't as cut and dry as you might think. Perrottet took exception to the period at which abortion was allowed up to, stating, "The bill draws an arbitrary line in the sand at 22 weeks. At this stage, the unborn child has had a heartbeat for months. Its fingerprints have formed. It has its own unique DNA. Its hair starts growing, and it has been yawning, stretching and moving. Thanks to this bill, our law will now stand completely silent while the lives of unborn children up to 5 months are ended on demand." Perrottet has instead advocated for a variety of alternatives that focus on supporting expectant mothers through the process and looking at options such as fostering post-birth and relying on abortion as a last resort. In this matter, and with others, the Premier has iterated that his faith does not impact his capacity to serve in the state's top role. Any and all policy would of course have to be confirmed by the Legislative Assembly. Freedom of speech. Perrottet is an advocate for free speech. Upon Donald Trump claiming the US presidency in 2016, he stated, quote, "If you stand for free speech, you are not a bigot." He has opposed compelled speech in relation to preferred pronouns. In 2020, amidst the backdrop of the state's worst economic crisis in many years, Perrottet, who was Treasurer at the time, spoke out against members within the Treasury Department who were focused on a pronouns issue, stating, "Obviously, I believe that people should be able to call their spouse whatever they like. Wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, honey, babe, whatever. As long as we're focused where it should be, and I'll be making sure that people in Treasury are free to call their spouse whatever they like." Perrottet believes in the ability for individuals to be referred to whatever title they wish and to respect those wishes, but is opposed to mandating language around such a concept. This stance is actually very similar to that of clinical psychologist Jordan Peterson, who rose to fame upon voicing his opposition to compelled speech in Canada. On the climate. Perrottet has been quoted as saying, "I have always believed in the science of climate change." He's also been a senior member of a government which has promised to cut the state's emissions in half by the end of the decade. Conversely, in 2016, upon Trump being elected US president, he posted on social media, "If you question man-made climate change, you are not a skeptic." During a speech to the Conservative Centre for Ideas in 2015, Perrottet criticised the former federal Labor government spending on climate change as a gratuitous waste. And he's also mocked the almost religious devotion of the political left to climate change. On welfare. Perrottet has linked an increase in welfare dependency with a rise in divorce and a lowering birth rate, stating countries with large pension systems tend to struggle with fertility. In essence, the welfare state was acting as a substitute for the family, crowding out its formation and increasing rates of divorce. Whilst that may form part of his viewpoint, more recently he's been advocating for increases to those doing it tough as a result of lockdowns. In July, Perrottet publicly called for the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, to reintroduce JobKeeper payments. He was also instrumental for implementing the JobSaver program, which includes employment subsidies for lockdown-affected businesses, as well as rent relief incentives, payroll tax reductions, deferrals and small business grants. COVID-19. Whilst many of Perrottet's recent lifting of restrictions have been championed, it's important to remember his senior role in a party that enacted them in the first place. With that said, it's been reported by Kalkine previously that approximately 1 month into Sydney's July 2021 lockdown, former Premier Berejiklian had stopped meeting with the majority of her party members for over a month, and instead was only working with Chief Health Officer Kerry Chant and Minister for Health Brad Hazzard. Perrottet also suggested that if there were to be any further lockdowns that were quote-unquote unnecessary, then Chant should be taking a pay cut. Speaking on 2GB in late September, Perrottet also stated, once every single person in this state has had the opportunity to be vaccinated, then we should open up for everyone. I want to see more unity and not a two-tiered society. It's not the government's role to provide freedom. The announcement on October 18 surrounding mask mandates, however, which requires unvaccinated individuals to continue to wear masks in office, whilst vaccinated members can remove theirs, flies in the face of these comments. His decision to allow international travel with no quarantine as of November 1 for the double vaccinated also promotes division. Under this policy, an individual who is double vaccinated could theoretically return on a flight positive with COVID, not have to quarantine, and then be free to roam around the community infected with the virus. Unvaccinated individuals, however, would still be restricted to within 5 kilometres of their homes, even if a recent test had cleared them of an infection. However, he has committed to honour the December 1 date of unvaccinated individuals receiving the same freedoms as those who are vaccinated. On October 18, Perrottet also announced a $130 million package to assist with the state's mental health crisis following the extended lockdown period, a decision which has been widely praised. And finally, let's take a look at religion and his relationship with the LGBTQI+ community. Much has been said of Perrottet's Christian upbringing. He attended Red Hill College in Sydney's Hills District, which has ties to the strictly Catholic Opus Dei movement. Perhaps the most telling part of his devotion to Christianity is that he now has baby number 7 on the way. To his credit, Perrottet has stated that he will act as a leader who separates his personal religious beliefs from his policy making. Whilst he has previously spoken against altering the definition of marriage from its traditional roots and has advocated for a plebiscite, he has also stated that he will govern for everyone despite their sexual or gender orientation. So, what can we expect moving forward from Dominic Perrottet? Perrottet has entered office at one of the most crucial periods in the state's history. With a by-election on the way on December 4, the next few months will be crucial for not only his future, but that of the Liberal Party and major parties more broadly in the state and across the country. His commitment to economic support over the past 2 years has won him plenty of admirers. So too has his dedication to reopening New South Wales. If he is to pass the test coming at the end of this year, that's when the microscope will then begin to emerge on those broader issues such as climate change, abortion, and his relationship with minority communities. For the sake of everyone in New South Wales, we hope that he gets it right and we can get back to our lives pre-2020. If you enjoyed the information contained in this video, then please make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay across the latest videos from Kalkine. For more information, just head across to the website, kalkinemedia.com. I'm James Preston, reporting for Kalkine.